This is a work of art. This is bullshit. This is a work of art. This is bullshit. This is a work of art. But this is bullshit.
Starting off really strong with something I feel like a lot of autistic people will agree on. Because, yeah, of course, like, every autistic person's sensory, like, issues and sensory aches are gonna be different, but I feel like a lot of these we agree on. Like, noise-canceling headphones over, like, earplugs of any kind, always, sure. But at the same time, if you're, like, in a shopping mall with a friend or your partner, and you still want to be able to talk, then maybe earplugs are better than actual, like, noise-canceling headphones. But if you're anywhere alone, definitely. Scratchy blankets? No. Just no. No one likes scratchy blankets. But the thing is, like, a lot of autistic people find a blanket scratchier than someone who might be neurotypical will definitely find it, so yeah, but I feel like we generally just agree on a few things here. Hello baby Chris, and welcome back to my channel. Today we're doing some neurodivergent TikToks again. I don't know, it feels like I've literally just done this, but I have no concept of time anymore. I do not understand how it's the end of August. I literally don't. But anyways, that's what we're doing today. You know the deal though, before we continue, y'all gotta get hydrated. So grab some water, or some tea, or whatever else you like to drink, and then we'll continue. Are you hydrated? Good. Let's go.
Why do you have subtitles on for everything?
I can't hear it if they're not on.
But there's no sound with subtitles.
Just trust me, man, I can't hear it if they're not on.
It's probably time for a hair trim, innit?
Absolutely not.
Why?
Because they'll get it wrong, and it's the worst environment on the planet.
Oh man, this has been fun.
It has, yeah. I'm gonna go now.
Okay.
Oh my god.
What's up?
We just made eye contact.
Why is that a problem?
You're staring into my soul. I can still feel it now. And I can't focus on what you're saying. I just keep thinking about the eye contact.
I thought you were going out.
I can't. My headphones are charging.
Can't you just go out without your headphones?
No, I'd hear the world then. The world is a very scary place.
What are you looking at?
Just looking at some new bags.
Dude, haven't you got enough bags?
I don't think you can ever really have enough bags.
What game are you playing?
Stardew Valley.
Why do you play that so much?
Well, it's just like cozy and idealistic and not real life, if that makes sense.
No, like, no video games are real life though, yeah?
Living with an autistic person 101. They're gonna maybe do some things that make sense for them. That if you aren't autistic, have just, like, never occurred to you, because the hearing without subtitles is so strange. Like, obviously the sound is the same, and turning the sound higher would not actually help you understand it better, but subtitles do, and I feel like you either get that or you don't. You know, because, yeah, and also the description of, like, background noises are generally just kind of funny sometimes, and you're missing out on that if you don't have the subtitles on, okay? So just listen to things with, or like watch things with subtitles, come on. And generally just going out, like being like, you can just go out without headphones. We could. It would be a bad decision though. Because just no. It's not even that the world is like scary, like I wouldn't describe it as scary, but it's just loud. Everything is constantly making noises that are just like everywhere and coming from a million different directions, and you have like a million different sounds, and just no. Just no.
Galen, have you ever used chopsticks before?
Incorrectly. It's a good start, right? Dyspraxia plus chopsticks! Got it! One more time. Work, damn it!
Maybe we should look up a children's guide to chopsticks.
If kids can do it, surely I can do it. So is this the process of baby learning to use the chopsticks? Is this what it looks like?
I assume so. I've never tried to teach a baby chopsticks.
They won't grab!
Okay, I'm not gonna lie, this is what it looked like when I held chopsticks for the first time. And I don't even have dyspraxia. So if you don't hold them properly, like if you don't know how to hold them properly, it ends up looking like this. But even if you know how to hold them, it will probably take some time to get used to. And honestly, I feel like these like kid helper thingies you put on the back of chopsticks would actually make it just worse. Because then you're not holding them properly. Like, you can use that as an aid to use chopsticks, but you're not properly using the chopsticks like you would normally use chopsticks, if that makes sense. But yeah, well, I feel like some things are gonna be way more difficult, because I feel like if you don't have dyspraxia, you might get used to chopsticks a lot quicker, because I did get used to it fairly quickly. So keep trying, I guess, and I hope you get it if you want to.
I don't even think I've got ADHD anymore.
What do you mean?
When I set out to clean the bedroom, and as you can see, I've started it, finished it, no side quests, no money spent. Boom.
Didn't you have an appointment an hour ago?
Oh, I have made a serious mistake.
What have you done?
I woke up this morning with so much energy that I decided to come and tackle the junk room. It was so much energy, in fact, that I decided to do it properly and sort everything out into piles and boxes. Now I've run out of energy. I've made it worse, and I can't fix what I've done.
Babe, I thought you were cleaning the bathroom.
I was, and then I saw that a plant was dying in the bathroom. That made me think about what state our garden was in. I looked out the window and I saw that the grass was brown, so I decided to come outside and water it, and that's when I found the mother of all side quests. I noticed that this tree was leaking sap, so I've been researching it, diagnosing it, and I'm going to save its life.
Okay, while you're saving the trees, I'll go and scrub the toilet then, yeah?
You planning a big kitchen clean today?
That was my initial intention, yeah. But what I've actually done is gone to the shop, bought all of this new cleaning stuff. I've knackered myself out doing that, so now I don't have the energy to clean. So it's going to stay dirty, and I've spent loads of money.
The brief feeling of, oh, I don't even have ADHD anymore. Which we say is a joke, right? Like, we know the ADHD is still there. Just sometimes we manage to do something, like clean out the entire thing, or like do the task we meant to do, and actually finish the task we meant to do. Only to realize later, or being reminded later, that we forgot something very important. Because it wasn't important enough to our brain to remember it. Like, if you have something that's really important to you, that you look forward to, like with time blindness, you might still lose track of time and forget that you actually need to go to the thing, even if you remember you have that thing that day. Which is why so many of us have the waiting mode of, well, I have an appointment today, so I can't do anything else now, because then I will lose track of time and then I will be late, even though I really look forward to this thing or I really need to go to this thing. But yes, like, in the same way, living with autistic people, if you're not autistic, will present some challenges, because they're gonna do things that seem kind of foreign to you and kind of strange to you because you don't really get it. Same with ADHD. Really. But I think you get used to it fairly quickly, because, well, they always do things like this, right?
No, because I don't think you understand the shit that people will say to me, because I'm a person who works with disabled people, but they don't realize that I'm disabled, is bonkers. It's bonkers. Oh, it must be so terrible to have to live like that. He's autistic. Calm down, okay? He's having a rough time. He's having a meltdown. His routine changed. That's hard. Shut the fuck up. Did you see that little girl? She wouldn't even look at me. It was like she was off in her own little world. Baby, you're not much to look at. Have you ever considered that? And okay, here's the frustrating part. 9 times out of 10, the people that are saying this to me are normally very nice, very caring people. And I just need neurotypical people to understand that it's okay to stop talking. It's okay to stop talking. It's okay for you to say, I'm not as educated as I should be on disabled people. Therefore, I'm gonna keep my mouth shut while I learn more. Stop saying stupid shit to random people, because you never know who is disabled and you just can't see it, and we are judging you. We are judging you. And will I ever treat you differently because you said that to me? No, but I will think about it every time we speak. Every time we speak, I will think about the fact that you said that about someone who's like me. Just.
But there's like specifically this last part of, am I gonna like be different to you? Am I gonna like treat you differently because I know what you think about disabled people or like autistic people? No, but I will think about it constantly. It's so real because it's what I do. Like, I forget random things people say, and then I remember random other things. But if something kind of like grinds me the wrong way, like when people just like say bullshit like that. Like I had this one coworker, and he talks a lot of shit. You know, like he says really random things and is talking about completely random things all the time, and usually I just like forget instantly because he's just talking so much and I don't particularly liked him to begin with, you know. But this one time he was like goofing around with another coworker, and he was like pulling a face and like smiling weirdly, and he was like, no, don't smile like an autistic person, smile properly. That's the one thing I will always remember when I hear his name or look at him. That one thing. Because what the hell? Is it really that difficult to understand that people are different and function different and that maybe that's okay? You know, because it's not even... I mean, yeah, well, you never know who's like autistic or who's disabled that you can't see, because, well, same with like people being like, oh, we can always tell with trans people. They think that with like neurodivergent people, but they really can't because they really don't know what it looks like. You know, unless it's like the absolute walking cliche of an autistic person, for example, then they can tell. But usually they cannot. But it's not even that. It's not that there might be an autistic person who hears you talk shit. It's just that it's a shitty thing to say in general. So yes, we're definitely gonna judge you. We're definitely gonna tell other autistic people about it, especially if they know you, because they should know what kind of person you are, you know? Because it's not giving caring person, it's not giving kind person, it's just giving very judgmental and uneducated. So unless that person shows you that they've learned and has like got more educated, then yeah, we're gonna keep judging you and be very wary around you. I don't know if this person is the only person who ever thought about that. But just in case you use like a mobility aid like this and struggle with the same thing of just like not having enough hands if you're like at a checkout or something, I just thought I included because yeah, am I gonna name this like neurodivergent? Yes. But that doesn't mean we don't include other disabled people and other potentially helpful tips for other disabled people, because guess what? People are frustrating, and I think if we can help in a little way, we probably should. So I don't currently use a mobility aid. I don't need one currently. But for those that do, you might find this helpful, so I thought I'd share it.
Sorry, but those "if you liked this show, you'll like this show" things are never accurate. And I think it's because they miss the entire point of why I connect to a piece of media. Do you think I liked Queen's Gambit because there was chess in it? Here are some other shows about chess. No, I liked it because there was a traumatized autistic lead trying to prove her worth by being the best at something. So can we make a little search engine with those filters on it so I can search for more? Thanks. I want shows categorized by the emotional experience they provide. Fantasy? Thriller? Don't care. Will it give me the feeling of getting revenge on those who have wronged me? Now I care. I feel like fan fictions understand this. You can get really specific with those tags. But then I search shows to watch if I liked Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and I get Vampire Diaries. They both have vampire. You like vampire. I like characters with well-written arcs. I keep hearing this voice. It won't stop calling to me. It's me. It's Microsoft Excel. The computer program? Make an Excel spreadsheet of all the movies and TV shows? That would literally take forever. Shh, don't think about that. It's fine, spend all day on it and maybe also forget to eat. Oh, you tempt me. But I think I'm just gonna watch Queen's Gambit for the 5th time.
Okay, but literally, this whole, not even specific, oh, since you watch this, you might like this, just generally like recommended for you, where it takes like all the shows or movies that you might have watched and like gives you other suggestions, and it's like, no. I struggle watching new things in general, so you're really not helping right now. So honestly, having like other people do this, kind of suggesting things, can go one of two ways. Either it's gonna make me so angry because I just, if someone tells me like, oh my god, you really need to watch this, it's such a good show, you have to watch this, then I'm not watching it. Okay, don't do that. But if you're like, hey, I watched the show or this movie or something, I think you're really gonna like it because of whatever aspect of it, and just like give me a tiny reason why you think I would enjoy this, then it kind of maybe potentially works if you know me well enough, because I'm like, well, yes, that sounds like something that would be appealing to me. But it doesn't really work with the... That's what an algorithm is supposed to do, but it really doesn't work that way. We need way more specific filters, and why do I feel like a lot of people who are like heavily into fanfiction or who write fanfiction are maybe also neurodivergent and understand this very specific struggle, and that's why there are so many tags? Is that just my theory, or is that actually true? I don't know. Failed task successfully, I guess, because she's like, well, you'd be a great match there. Like, it's really, I think you'd be really comfortable there. Like, yes, but also no. You can't really go impatient somewhere where you work. That's... The thought was there, and it almost worked, but the keyword is kind of almost here, actually.
Toe walking. See, I don't do that. But you walk with your weight in the front of your feet. Yeah, but I'm not like tiptoeing everywhere. It also mentions taking things too literally. Well, I only do it to avoid the little crumblies. Don't talk about the crumblies. What about having a fascination with numbers? I don't like math. I don't like it, and I'm not good at it. What's your favorite number? 21. Why? 'Cause 7 times 3 is 21. Is that supposed to make sense? That's a trick question. Everyone has a favorite number. The only game on your phone is Sudoku. Okay, well, it talks a lot about sensory issues, and I really don't have crumblies. Besides that, I don't have any sensory issues. Describe how you take a shower. Well, I guess I avoid touching the shower curtain, but who wants to touch that? Keep going. And I have to make sure there's not any little hairs in there that I could possibly touch. I switched to a stone bath mat because I don't like wet feet touching the carpet. Too many fuzzies in there. That's dangerous. Fine. Okay. Well, they should at least write this better.
The constant struggle of these kind of like quizzes and assessment thingies being written by neurotypical people. Because I feel like autistic people would understand that we tend to need like better explanations and not write things so vague where it's just like, I mean, I guess it leads you to overanalyze it and go off on tangents, which might help, but I still feel like these assessments could be more accurate. And I feel like they would probably be more accurate and way less stressful if other autistic people just sat in a room with you and were like, listen, let's chat, you know, it's... I feel like that might help, actually.
I'm disabled. Of course people are asking if I could get pregnant. I'm disabled. Of course people ask me how I use the toilet. I'm disabled. Of course people are asking me what happened to me. I'm disabled. Of course people ask if I sleep in my wheelchair. I'm disabled. Of course people are asking what's wrong with my legs. I'm disabled. Of course people are asking me if I'm a child.
The amount of weird things that people feel confident and comfortable asking people just because they're a little bit different from you is so wild to me. Like, there's a difference between being curious and just asking invasive questions. You know, because it's like never like people who are actually kind of close to you or like you're getting close with that kind of just like asks to be like, hey, like whatever. Like if they come to visit you, and you're asking like, hey, like is it fine? Like is this accessible to you? Like can you get around in my bathroom? Like will you be able to, you know, use the bathroom if you need it? It's one thing, and that's like totally fair because you obviously like want to make sure they can get around, you know, like they're used to maybe in their own home. But just like it's always like random ass people who they just met asking really weird questions like what do you even care? How someone else uses the bathroom or how they sleep or whatever, because it's never out of like curiosity and just whatever. It's just really weird. What the hell? And that's also just because the amount of prejudice people have and the lack of education that people have. Because we all have the internet, right? Like we could research it, even a little bit, you know, and be aware that a lot of people like this exist. Like, sure, some people have absolutely no use of their legs and have to use a wheelchair at all times. Sure. But that doesn't mean that every person who uses a wheelchair will need it 100% of the time. And then just being rude about it and just being like, see, you don't need the wheelchair at all because you can walk. I've seen you. It's so weird to me. Like, how do you really think with the absolute lack of accessibility that there is in a lot of places that people will choose to use a wheelchair if they don't need it? Because for them, it will probably also be easier to get around just walking. But that's not really how disabilities work. Like, if you have to use a wheelchair, you have to use it and just like try finding the accessibility, like the routes where you have the best accessibility and stuff like that. But it's wild. And also just having to deal with these kind of questions or like people being weird about it. You know, I feel like people will get around that if they can. But you could also just like not be a dickhead, you know?
Sir, will you please stop staring at me? Where's the rest of you?
And things like this. Like, I don't even want to know how many people have said something like this to people like her. Like, I really don't want to know. Because again, it's never out of curiosity or anything, you know, it's always just like being weird and staring and asking unhinged questions, you know? I'm running out of things to say here because, again, the audacity of people, I guess, is all I have to say to that. The audacity, and I really don't know where they get it from.
A new episode of my favorite show just came out. Do you want to watch it with me later? No, not really. Okay, is everything okay? Why don't you want to spend time with me? I would love to spend time with you. What does that have to do with anything? Well, I just asked you to spend time with me, and then you said you didn't want to. I didn't say I didn't want to spend time with you, I just said I didn't want to watch that show. But the show wasn't the point. I wanted to spend time doing something together. Well, then you should have said, hey, will you watch this show with me? And I would have happily said yes. It's just not a show that I would usually watch on my own. Can you go check if the dishes are done, please? Yeah, of course. Okay, I just checked and they're done. Did you put them away? No, why? If the dishwasher is finished, why wouldn't you put the clean dishes away? Because you didn't ask me to put them away, you just asked me to check if they were done or not. Okay, but use some common sense. If they're done, they need to be put away. How am I supposed to know that's what you wanted me to do if you didn't tell me? So I've been meaning to tell you this for a while, but I have feelings for you. What do you mean you have feelings for me? Where did this come from? I mean, I've been dropping hints for months and you've been completely clueless this entire time. I just thought we were friends.
Yeah. Listen, about the first thing though. No, actually in general, maybe, especially if you know someone's autistic, maybe just be more specific, because I really, really don't understand why it's so difficult for some people to actually, say what they mean and just, be more specific, because I feel like even neurotypical people wouldn't mind too much. You know, because apparently neurotypicals are better at nuance, or so they think. So shouldn't other neurotypical people know that you're not being rude, that you're just being outspoken or something? I don't know, either way. Maybe just be specific. Especially if you want the other person to do something for you, put the dishes away, or if you want to do something, wouldn't you just why don't you start with, hey, do you want to hang out later? And then the other person's gonna be like, yeah, sure, or no. And then you can just be like, hey, because this new episode of my favorite show came out. Would it be cool if we watched that together? Because I feel like it doesn't make a difference to neurotypical people to say things a little bit differently. You know? But they don't. I don't get it. But, I'm not a neurotypical, so I feel like that's probably why I don't get it. I feel like that's probably kind of a fair way to do it. To kind of just see if someone's actually educated at all before you get into it, because a lot of people still call it Asperger's. Because a lot of people don't know. I'm actually going to read to you what this person wrote in that description. Asperger's was named after Hans Asperger, one of the first people to research autism. He was extremely ableist and sent thousands of disabled children to their death. He protected children with Asperger's because he believed they were geniuses, and sent the genetically inferior kids, aka the autistic children, to be given lethal injections, starved, or be sent to a clinic to be put to sleep. Because yeah, do we really want to keep calling certain people by a name that is obviously so intrinsically just connected to being ableist and be like, no, but I'm autistic, but I'm better than those other autistics? Because that's the kind of vibes I'm getting. Why would you want to use that term? It took a while, but wasn't it even officially removed from the DSM-5? Anyways, it seems fair to want to check if people know or not. And that's the thing, people don't even realize. Because they kind of expect you to kind of emote like other people normally would. But the fact that we constantly kind of have to think about it and have to think if we're doing it correctly is exhausting. So being angry that they don't emote like they usually do, which is just them dropping their mask or just being like, but you don't pull the same facial expressions as other people. It's so weird to me. Like, people in general are different. Like, even neurotypical people aren't all gonna react the same. But as soon as someone reacts a little bit differently than you think they should, then it's a problem? I guess.
Hi, I'd like to get an autism assessment, please. Okay, that will be $2,000. Oh, that's really expensive. I can't afford that. Well, I guess you better start saving up some money then. Well, I can't really save up very much money because I'm struggling to work. Maybe you should apply for disability benefits then. Okay. Hi, I'd like to apply for disability benefits. What's your disability? Autism, amongst other things. Do you have a professional diagnosis? Well, no, I don't. Well, you can't qualify for disability benefits without a professional diagnosis. But I can't get a professional diagnosis because I can't afford an assessment because I can't work enough because I'm disabled. That situation sucks.
Justice. People wonder why people don't have like official diagnoses, because a lot of people, especially like people who were assigned female at birth, either get their diagnosis like way later in life or don't get one at all. Some people don't want one, you know, which is also fair, but you know, people wonder why, but it basically ends up looking like this. Or doctors just been like, no, but someone would have like found out sooner. Like, people would have known. When the truth is they don't, because even like doctors and professionals who are supposed to know what autism looks like don't, or only know what it looks like. And like very typically behaving boys usually, and white people in general, by the way, but kind of like this cliche presentation of autism, really. That's what they can pick up on very easily, but as soon as you're different, especially because a lot of people who were assigned female are usually higher masking, it's more difficult for other people to pick up on, and then it ends up looking like this. Like, so many things are stims. It's just, if you don't know what stimming is and what stims are, then yeah, of course you don't pick up on it. You just think, oh, it's a weird quirk of mine. I like doing the triple taps with my fingers or something. But a lot of things that neurodivergent people who don't know that they're neurodivergent yet think are just like quirks, or their personality are symptoms, I guess, or just stims, because yeah, because this whole, oh, did you line your toys up? Maybe they did, maybe they didn't, maybe they sorted them in a different way, but they didn't sit there just putting them in a row, because who does that? Did I like build like Lego or like Playmobil or like other things and then just like reenacted the same stories over and over again? Yes. Absolutely. Did I have to do things a very specific way? Absolutely. Did I get super upset if someone changed the way like I put something? Absolutely. You know, is that what it says in the official autism assessment? No. Will people pick up on it? Also, no. But Yeah, listening to like the same song on repeat just hits very close to home because I do this. And I've always felt guilty about it because that seems weird. So I tried not doing it when other people were around, but now I just do it all the time. Like, I do it way more now, but I always did it. You know? That was all the TikToks I have for today. I hope you feel called out because that's kind of what I'm here for, I guess. But either way, I hope you enjoyed them. I hope you're hydrated. If not, maybe drink something now. You know? But either way, I'll be back in a few days with my next video, and to remind you to drink again.